Various reasons. First off, my wrestling stuff kind of relies on Ollie or Ian being around, and to be honest, they've been doing stuff on their own channels that I've been joining in with, and I'm happy enough to do that, to be honest. So, other stuff is just, I'm really in kind of a slump. I've got my own personal stuff going on. I really don't, nothing bad, but nothing I really want to get into yet. So, other such things that, so I've just got no other games that I really want to play at this point. So that's always a, that's always a pisser. Really fair. So I'm mainly just just watching other stuff. Oh hey Ian, you want to join? It's just a quick update, but since we've got no streams going on, but if you want to join in just for a chat and a chill stream, then by all means go ahead. So other stuff I'm doing is just what I've got my stuff from my family at this point, so I've got to deal with my daughter and everything else, and her birthday's coming up, so priority number one, effectively. So other such things on my mind at the moment. E3, I'm going to save a lot of that for Ollie's video, which he may inevitably do, but I've got my own personal thoughts on what I'm happy with. Mainly Final Fantasy VII. I know some people are like, I've seen some people that aren't happy with Final Fantasy VII. Just because it exists seems to be, or it's not exactly the same. I personally think it looks great. It's not perfect. It's probably going to take some getting used to. And I've seen the thing of, why do people want this, or why are people why are people suddenly wanting this thing? Why even make it now if not to make money? Well, money's one thing, but also maybe the fact that we as fans have been begging them to do it every time they do anything. I remember quite frequently seeing, oh, why are you doing Final Fantasy 13 stuff when you could be doing, this instead? Or why aren't you doing, why are you doing Final Fantasy 13 when you could, Final Fantasy 13 or 14, or why are you doing any of that stuff when you know for a fact you'll make money off of just Final Fantasy 7 alone? And it's not a whole going back to rectify things. It's not a thing to, it's just mainly because we asked for it. We asked, and for years it was, oh, this will make money. You should get this. You should, definitely do this. So really, are they really to blame for, for making something that we actually asked them to make? Will it be good? Probably. Will it be, if Gold Sorcerer is a microtransaction hell, however, I would be pissed, but I'll save more of my thoughts for later. Let's see, other things, yes, for those of you on my Twitter who know, I know there's a Death Battle going on now. I've stopped watching Death Battle a while back for a variety of reasons, most of which was that, the research and everything. I mean, I'll go into that. One of the reasons I don't watch Death Battle in general these days is because I'm not saying they're biased, but I know there's the thing of, oh well, they're biased, so all the stuff like the fights that involve characters owned by Rooster Teeth are all they're all guaranteed to win regardless. And yes, I am of the school of thinking that, yes, I did see the research stuff. I still subscribe to them. At this point, I just don't really take much of what they do seriously. Like, it doesn't bother me when they have done, a Death Battle that I don't agree with. which is a lot of them. I think my first major issue with the one Donkey Kong versus Knuckles, mainly because they never specify which version of Knuckles, and that's an overall problem really for them, is that when you've got shows or characters that have multiple origins, they tend to have this annoying habit of just getting one character and then getting with like maybe a few extra origins. Like with Superman, the problem, I agree that Superman would beat Goku in certain situations, but you know, certain versions of Superman definitely would kick his ass, like more versions of Superman would kick Goku's ass than anything else, but they chose 10 different versions of Superman and just mixed him into one character. The same issue has been with that new Green Lantern versus Ben 10 thing. Where they got two different versions of the Green Lantern and just attributed all his accomplishments to all the accomplishments of two or three different versions to one character. With Knuckles, for example, they didn't take into account any of the stuff from the games or any of his comic book origins, so that made things difficult. My issue with the recent one that they're premiering right now as we speak, funnily enough, as this video goes up, is that the research they did for Persona, they were very picky with what they chose. They didn't take into account any of the later canon stuff, like Mitsuru's upgrades from the Answer, because it's still canon. They're literally using mid-tier to beginner version of Mitsuru versus a version, a full-powered version of Whis, and not taking into consideration, I've talked to a couple of people, funnily enough, who are big Ruby fans, and even they say, look, Whis will probably win, but she shouldn't, because, well, she has got Mitsuru's weakness, but there's a very small chance she'll even get to use it due to, Mitsuru getting an immunity to that. But they've made it a habit. They've made it a point to not mention, that whole thing. Well, the fact that she did gain an immunity. To like fire and stuff. Which she did. Can't deny that. She did actually gain the immunity to fire in the Answer, but again, the Answer isn't they're probably using the Persona Portable version of Mitsuru, not the FES version, which is really stupid, to be honest. Or the Persona 4 Arena stuff, where they're mentioned because they use the stuff like, oh, Mitsuru's clearly not that intelligent because of mistakes she made in Persona 3. Yes, but again, in Persona 4 Arena is canon, and you're probably going to use that sprite of Mitsuru, to be perfectly fair. So, it'd be silly. It would be ludicrous of you not. It would be ludicrous of you to, not include that little aspect. But, they're not taking into consideration that she's smart enough to she's fought people who have the abilities, the so-called abilities that Whis has, or has encountered, or are rare in Whis' world, are kind of common in the Persona world. Like, the Maiden powers are like some of the Maiden powers, I've been told, are just similar to certain Persona abilities. Like, they're rare in Whis' world, but they're not actually that rare in the Persona world. In fact, they're pretty damn common. But that's just one of them. There's loads of other things, like the fact that Mitsuru can summon her Persona way faster than Whis can use any of her attacks. So there's that. There's also the fact that she can hit harder, and the fact that Whis can't actually power herself up, like heal her energy. Once she's used up all her energy, that's it, she's done. Whereas Mitsuru can actually heal herself, and even replenish her own powers with the Spirit Drain. I know this is just me rambling at this point, but they did last time. They did Yang versus Tifa. I know there was a bit of an uproar for that one, but I'm told by RWBY fans that the abilities that Yang had at the time were not abilities that she has now, but she didn't have when that was being recorded, so the research was kind of biased. Personally, I know power scaling, I know from experience, as I've done power scaling, I've done some power scaling work, and I can honestly tell you, it is fucking difficult. Very difficult to get to accurately scale them. I mean, I know a couple of people who have tried to scale some Persona characters to RWBY characters and said the problem with scaling them is that the Persona characters are always overwhelmingly powerful. As if we really go with Mitsuru's thing, for example, Mitsuru's entire thing is that her tier, she's at least mountain level, which is beyond, even mountain level, which is the lowest, it is still beyond anything that's, Whis has. Not just that, there's also the fact that if we're scaling other personas of the same thing, King Frost is technically a planetary level persona, meaning he can literally do damage to the entire world, and, Mitsuru's persona is Artemis, and Artemis is, Artemis is actually a lot more powerful than King Frost is by quite a bit. So there's that. But enough about Death Battle. There's literally an entire subgenre that exists for the sole purpose of debunking everything Death Battle says and does. So this is just my practice run of Mega Man X4 because I am really not, confident in my abilities at this point, so this is just it. So future of the channel when Ian's available, I've got some storylines planned, mostly involving Psycho Steve, but then I'll be doing the Mega Man run, hopefully I'll be doing the Yakuza games at some point, and hopefully I'll be joining Ian for a couple of his own. Because let's face it, Ian has an awesome selection of the Genesis games to play at this point, and I'd be an idiot if I didn't join him in reliving the good old 90s. As for Ollie's stuff, I'll be joining him on Twitch in future for some of his things, but anything YouTube based, I might be doing Borderlands with him if he he's downloaded it, but when he's got the time, I might be doing a Borderlands stream with him. Well, that's really all there is to this update. I'm going to be away for like a few weeks. Actually a week, I tell a lie. It's just a week. I'll be off to visit family. I'm off to see family and, celebrate my daughter's birthday. Then I'll be back to the Buildcast podcast. I mean, I'll still be able to do things like the Buildcast podcast with Ollie and Steve on his channel, and anything he does that involves us using Skype, will also be, a thing we do. I'll be able to do that due to me taking my tablet with me, but I can't really say whether I'll be available during the day. Well, that's basically it. I don't know if I'll be doing another stream tonight, whether I'll be doing a wrestling one with Ian, or whether or not I'll be doing anything with Ollie, because I haven't heard from him, but he wants to do an E3 stream, I think, and talk about that. So we'll see how that goes. Until then, thank you for those who have joined me. I know it's probably just Ian at this point, but I will take it. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.